Yo, what is up? Today we are going to be talking about why you will never lose weight. Wow, such a strong title, Gumbi. Such a evocative topic. You're really getting the YouTube stuff going. But yeah, today's about why you will never lose weight. And the reason why you'll never lose weight is because you don't want to track. Now, obviously, as my very smart followers that are truly at the cutting edge of fitness and weight loss relations, you guys understand that the only way that you lose weight, the only way that losing weight works is calories in, calories out. Some might try to deny it, but at the base, that's how it works, right? There's things that make what the calories in and calories out are, change a bit, but at the base, it's how much energy you consume to how much energy you use. If you use too much energy, if, no, sorry, if you use more energy than you consume, then you'll lose the fat. The fat being stored energy, right? So if you use more, then you'll lose the fat. If you ingest more, then you'll gain more fat, more stored energy for times when you're using, you know, when you're in a deficit. Sorry about that. So that's the only way it works. Some people might be like, oh, no, the reason you're storing fat is because you're eating carbs. That's not how it works. Some people might be like, oh, I have this issue with my hormones and, it makes me gain weight. No, it doesn't make you gain weight. It might make your appetite more. It might make you burn off fat less. But if you eat less, then you'll lose weight. Oh, but I have these hormones and it's making it so that I can't lose weight. No, like it's the laws of thermodynamics. I hate saying it, but that's just how it works. Matter cannot be created nor destroyed, it can only be transformed. What does that mean? If for some reason, let's just say you have a condition that makes it harder for you to lose weight, keyword harder, not impossible, but that just means maybe if you didn't have the condition, your maintenance would be like 2,300 calories. But now, because you have the condition, your maintenance is 2,000 straight. So you might be eating the exact same that you're eating before, but now since your maintenance has gone down, you're gaining weight, right? So when you make the adjustments, maybe you make the adjustments and you adjust to 2,000 calories because in your mind you're like, oh yeah, I should start losing weight. Well, because of whatever issue that you have, you're now just at straight maintenance. Why? Because it's changed how much, but the rules stayed the same, right? If it didn't work like that, then there'd be no people that starve to death. If it wasn't calories in, calories out, and some like disease could make it so that you gain fat, you think they wouldn't be like giving it? You think people would be starving if like you could just get a disease and you just like don't you don't starve to death. Famine just doesn't affect you. Like that's just not how it works. The pure fact that you can starve to death means that there's nothing that can just get rid of the process of burning fat. So, um, what is this video even about? Actually, I completely forgot while talking. Uh, Tracking. So now that we got that tangent out of the way, you're not going to lose weight because you're not tracking. What does that mean? Lots of people think that they're in a deficit when really they're either at maintenance or they're above maintenance. The reason why, it's because they're not tracking what they're eating, right? If you don't track what you eat, you don't know what you're eating. What do I mean by that? So a lot of people underreport how much they eat, and it's not even completely on purpose. It's because a lot of the time there's things that they don't count or didn't take into account, right? So when you're telling me, "Oh, I only eat I only eat 800 is like a reoccurring number. I only eat 800 calories a day." What are you counting? You're counting maybe your breakfast. You're counting maybe your lunch. Yeah, you're counting maybe your breakfast and you're counting, let's just say, supper. Breakfast and supper. You're like, I only ate 800 calories breakfast and supper. Then it's like, okay, what did you have for breakfast? And you're like, well, I only had 3 eggs, right? 3 eggs. That's like what? 201 calories, right? 210 calories, about. So you're like, yeah, that was only 210 calories. And then I had, for supper, I had like, rice with chicken and soup. And I had, maybe it was a stir fry, roasted some vegetables. That was only 800 calories. But it isn't. What are you not counting? And you're like, oh, but I'm still not losing weight and I'm eating so low. And let's just say this is a girl because I kind of put the calories pretty low, and it's only really girls that have like 1,000 and something as maintenances. So maybe your maintenance is like 1,300 or something. And you're telling me, oh yeah, I'm only eating 800 and I'm still gaining weight, so I'm not losing weight. Well, guess what? When you were counting the eggs, no, when you were counting the eggs, you didn't track the oil. You just left the oil out there. So that's like 100 calories. And then you're not counting the little snack that you had when you get to the kitchen, right? Because maybe you bought like a pack of biscuits, and when you get into the kitchen, you like to take a nibble at the beginning of the morning, but you don't really count that as a meal in your mind. So you have that, the each biscuit is probably like 50 calories. And then you're not counting when you're at work, the little snacks, the cookies in the meeting room, during the meeting's like 2 hours, maybe you get through six. That's 50 calories each. That's already 300 calories just unaccounted for. You didn't count it because in your mind it doesn't register as something that you're eating. And then maybe official lunch happens. You're like, nah, guys, I'm good. I'm not eating anything. And then you chill, chill, chill. And then later you're feeling a bit hungry, so you decide, yo, let me um, have a snack. You go to the vending machine, just have a little chocolate. You're like, oh, it can't be much. That chocolate's two 100 calories, like 200 calories. That chocolate's like 200 calories. And then you get home, walk into the kitchen, you do your ritual of grabbing a biscuit, another 50 calories. You move around, make the supper. There's a bunch of oil that you don't account for. And while you're making the supper, you absolutely eat two cookies, two biscuits. That's another 50 calories. Then you eat the supper, and then before you go to bed, you pass by the kitchen when you're switching off the lights, and ritual again, you eat another cookie, and then you go to sleep. And by the end of the day, you have like 500 extra calories that you just didn't count because you weren't actually tracking what you were eating. You just intuitive eating. You're like, I'm eating healthy, not realizing that all the little small habits that you're not really tracking, are just adding up because you're being an absent eater. And that's the reason why you'll never lose weight. It's not because calories in, calories out doesn't work. It's not because of your fucking thyroid issue. It's not because, you're just the special being that doesn't die from starvation. It's because you're not tracking. And if you don't track what you eat, then you don't know what you eat. Right? We all think that we know what we eat. We all think that we're good at um, we all think that we're good at impulse control. A lot of us aren't. We've grown up, well, in my case, grown into like the smartphone age. When we get bored, we take our phones out and scroll. Everyone has absent habits that build onto each other. So save yourself like the hassle of thinking it's not working, thinking that like whatever you're trying is useless. Spare yourself the trouble, get an app, get like MyFitnessPal or something. Just start tracking your calories. It's not that hectic. Some people make it seem like a bigger thing than it really is. It's something that's weird max like the first week or two, and then once you're there you probably start having fun with it. You start enjoying looking at a food and being like, how many calories is that? You enjoy the process of like trying to figure out whether the log that you're using for the food is like right. You enjoy looking at the numbers. You'll find enjoyment in like comparing food calories, because that also helps a lot. Oh my god, tracking, like when you start seeing how many like calories are in certain foods and you start comparing calories, it's actually insane. Like even if there's a level of you don't care like of how many calories some things are, like when you start looking at like a bar of chocolates and you're like, damn, this like bar of chocolate is the same amount of calories as 2 cans of tuna. Like it's it starts getting wild, you know. So yeah, track your calories, get an app, MyFitnessPal, start tracking your stuff. It's really not worth the extra hassle. You know, it doesn't matter what diet you're on, it doesn't matter what medication you're on. If you're eating more than you burn, then you are going to keep on getting fat or remain the same. Right? Even the medication that they give you, like Ozempic and stuff, the fat doesn't just burn; it kills your appetites, and then you eat less than you burn. Yeah, you eat less than you burn. So make your life easier. Just start tracking the calories. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you share it, share it, leave a comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Peace.